World champion Zlatan Vanev of Bulgaria. Then Lizunov for Russia. Ruslan Lizunov, first international appearance. To his left, really exciting talent for Belarus, Andrei Ribicoff, the world snatch record holder. Then for Albania, Ilia Kafarani. Didn't get a total last year, so a little ghost to exorcise this time around. Representing Greece and the host nation, this is Spiro Spero. Knee operation 3 months ago, back in training for 2. Interesting to see how he gets on. Then Anishanka for Belarus, second in the world 2 seasons ago. Turkey, represented today by Izet Ince at 307, the enter total, the lightest man also in the class. 2 Russians in the lineup, Yuri Mishkovits for Russia. He's had back problems for much of the last 2 seasons. And completing the lineup, 9 in all, Iraklis Samiadis, junior world champion at 77 kilos last season, but now moving up to 85 kilos. So those are the 9 competitors and a major absentee. That's Georgi Azanidze of Georgia, the European champion for the past 3 seasons, not here. The report we have is that towards the back end of last season that he was lifting in Poland. He lifts for one of the clubs there and injured his shoulder. He hasn't been seen lifting so far this season. So disappointing that the European champion isn't with us. That doesn't really make it that much easier for Zlatan Vanev, but he is definitely now a little bit more the favourite to make it 3 championships for the Bulgarian men in a row. Having said that, David, the entry totals, the spread between Vanev at the top and Izet Ince, the junior, at the bottom is only 15 kilos, so it's still quite competitive. And as we've seen all week, no one should take anything for granted. So onto the stage for the first and opening lift of the competition comes Ilia Kafarani for Albania. Suli was supposed to be in this competition, but he declined. They wanted to replace him, but they did it too late, so the Albanians without an extra man in the competition, so they have to rely on Kafarani. 160 kilos to open. That's a nice start, and this is the man, David, who had a problem at 94 kilos getting a total a year ago, so he'll feel a lot better because of that.
Yes, so 160 kilos on the bar. Yes, and of course the favourite, Zlatan Vanev. And as we've seen in the past, Vanev doesn't usually feature that well in the snatch competition, but of course he's got that huge clean and jerk, and so far he's been able to use it to basically make his total up to whatever he needs to win. So don't expect him to feature that much in the first phase, but wait until it comes to the clean and jerk.
Well, here's Izet Ince for Turkey, just out of junior ranks. He's 22 years of age. In those junior times at Junior World, Junior European, he was picking up medals for most of the time.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that Turkey have got some youngsters coming through, and they're bringing them here for the experience that, of course, is so necessary.
So good start. Once again, our website is up and running, www.weightlifting.de, and 1 or 2 thanks to Krista Reichwein. I think I've got it right. I gather you're an American from Denver, but down in Sarajevo, and you've been enjoying the championships this week, and apparently we've whetted your appetite for the Olympics. So glad you've enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy today's competitions. Of course, the 94 kilos coming up later, Krista, featuring Kakasvilis of Greece. So there won't be a spare centimetre in the house in terms of audience capacity. And will we be commentating at the Olympics? Well, hopefully. Now, Ruslan Lizunov, not a great deal known about this man, David. He's 25, hasn't competed internationally, and the reason he's here is the Russians have got a qualifying system. If you're first or second in the national championships, you get a chance to come to the Europeans. So this is his chance. 162.5 on the bar.
Good technician.
And I think I said earlier on that Izet Incher was the lightest. That was an error on my part. Apologies for that. It's Ruslan Lizunov with 83.02, who is the lightest of the class. In terms of heavyweights, well, Somiadis, the boy who's gone up, has really gone up, 84.45.
Now this young Greek,
Spiro,
he actually is from Greece, isn't he? I mean, we know a lot of the Greek weightlifters originally don't actually come from Greece, but this boy actually does.
Yeah, he's born in Athens. I mean, he's now 26, so as you say, he's still young, and he's had experience. He was fourth in the World Championships in Athens in 1999 on the eve of the Olympics in Sydney, but he didn't fare very well, and
he's looked promising in the past, but
he's yet to deliver.
He's yet to actually deliver. I mean, the potential is obviously there, but he's never really. I mean, he's had different setbacks, obviously, on this occasion, a knee operation, so he's never really had a chance to shine.
Apparently, it was a laser operation, so that would be much less invasive, so that's why he was able to get back into training within a couple of weeks. But again, like all the Greek men, I mean, we wouldn't suggest today that he's going to, you know, set the world alight. He'll do his best and the crowd will help him all the way, but I'd be a bit surprised. I can't see him really overturning the likes of Vanev. For me, it's the exciting youngster Ribicoff from Belarus, who's perhaps one of the most exciting, and also Somiadis of Greece, who you're just seeing now. Now, this is the junior world champion at junior European champion at 77 kilos, moving up.
Ελεύθερα τα χέρια σου, να τελειώσει η κίνηση.
Well, he looked a little hesitant there before the start, and I think he probably knows he's not going to have a chance of getting in the medals. So perhaps they've started him on a high weight and kind of seeing how he responds under pressure.
I thought I said a few moments ago he's junior world champion. He's actually junior world silver medalist, but that's still a pretty good achievement. At that weight, at 77 kilos last season, he was snatching 142.5. So here he's coming in 20 kilos up. Well, I was going to say 142.5, 152.5. So
this is 10 kilos over his best, but of course he's weighed in here at 84.45. So he seems to have managed to get his body weight up pretty quick, and I would think that now would be the time to move up, because of course the Olympics is a year away. Whether or not he'll be able to qualify is another thing.
Well, of course, this was the category that Piros Dimas has dominated right through the 90s. As you said, I think the other night, that much as Dimas might like to stay in 85 kilos, he simply can't.
No, he's weighing 92 kilos and he doesn't have an ounce of fat on him, so there's no way that he could reduce to 85 now.
Thus, the opportunity for someone in the Greek team to become their 85 kilo representative. So here comes Somiadis again. And if you think the background noise is high now, wait till Karkashvilis tonight. Comes from Kavala but lives in Athens these days. And he is, like all the Greek members of the team, a full-time athlete.
Yes, can't help looking at him. Sort of, he's a pretty tall athlete. Probably will reach his peak in the 94-kilo class, I would have thought. That's better. That's more like it.
And we've seen Yakubu with his athletes do this, you know, convince them, ask them to really ask a question of themselves. First time it didn't work out, this time they got it right. So wanted 65 kilos just being loaded on the bar, David, for the appearance of the world champion.
Yes, and as we said earlier, Vanev doesn't really feature that much in the snatch. You know, his job here really is to just edge his way up and try to stay in close contact with the other competitors, and then he relies on that huge clean and jerk to kind of bring it back and pull it out of the bag. Did actually dislocate his elbow, if you remember, a few years back on a world record attempt with 205 kilos. And I think that's one of the problems in this lift. He's still nervous about that elbow dislocation.
Well, one man watching this is someone who sent us an email, Georgi Popov from Bulgaria, who's been enjoying our service, and he's hoping that Vanev is going to make it 3 out of 3 for Bulgaria.
Well, I have to say, David, that's the best I've seen Vanev look in the snatch. Almost power snatch that weight. So maybe his confidence is up now and he's able to actually use his tremendous power to the full. Very explosive lifter.
But he's got to get tested. I mean, Ribicoff, the world record holder, he's posted 170, and Anishanka, his more experienced teammate, has posted 172.5. So those two Belarus boys, you know, they'll be trying to get as much advantage over.
Well, they'll need it, because if you remember earlier on, well, at the World Championships, Vanev opened on 212.5 on the clean and jerk, needed 217.5 to win. Was way down in the snatch competition, but just came out and surprised everyone.
Kafarani now, and this is a 5 kilo increase.
So heavily taped thumb, using the hook grip. Well, I think he did well there, David, because the first snatch wasn't that convincing. But
well, when you consider, David, he got none out of 6 last year, and he's now got 2 out of 2. I think you could expect him to be a bit nervous coming on stage to try and, you know, as I said right at the beginning, exercise the ghost of that. You know, that's a nightmare. I mean, you know, it's not nice to not get a total, but to fail all 6 lifts, that's pretty horrible.
So the bar staying on 165 kilos for the second attempt of the young Turk.
Yeah, still a student. But signposted his promise in the Junior Europeans in 2001 when he took the silver, and a bronze in the World Junior Championships 2 seasons ago. Half a minute.
Good technician.
Yeah, just a couple of steps forward to keep himself under the bar, feet in line. And there's Halil Mutlu, you just saw in the corner there. The camera's zooming out from him here. This is one of the great things about the sport, David, which I really enjoy, the way that the other leagues, you know, the athletes don't disappear home. You know, even superstars like Mutlu, you know, lifted right early in the week.
Well, they stay and support their other team members, which is great. We'll train together, and you know, I mean, that's the kind of setup that the Turks have. They live together, they train together, so there's this great camaraderie.
Yeah, but Mutlu is a major star in his own home country. If he wanted to organise a helicopter to take him from here to Athens airport and a plane to take him back to Ankara, there'd have been absolutely no problem. But he's not like that. You know, he loves being here, and it's great to see him supporting. And he's just sitting there amongst everybody else in the team, having a good time. Yuri Mishkovets, 32 years of age, from St. Petersburg. Not too many lifters come from St. Petersburg.
David Rigert was in shot there, coaching. Of course, a great lifter of the 80s and a real character. Good to see him on the Russian coaching team. I'm just looking at this lifter, David, and the thing that strikes me is that the face is extremely familiar, but the name is not.
Well,
I'm just wondering if he's lifted earlier under a different name or under a different country.
Well, he did lift in the Olympics. He wasn't very highly placed. He was 13th in Sydney, snatched 162.5 kilos, and that's as far as he went in that part of the competition, and managed to add 192.5 for a 355. But he was, 355 compared to 390 from Dimas, so well down the list. And then back injuries, as I said, for the last couple of seasons. So the Russians also, in a sense, looking for an 85 kilo lifter. They haven't really found one yet.
But their system is obviously improving. They've obviously got some kind of system in place that is, bringing through new youngsters.
Just barging his way past us in the commentary position, Galabin Boevsky.
Well, that's interesting. That's unusual. It didn't look as if he was using the classic hook grip, which you don't see very often.
15 seconds. Clock counting down on your left. Second attempt.
Well, if he's not using hook grip, he's got some kind of a grip on him. That's one guy I wouldn't want to shake hands with.
Well, good expression at the end, and 167.5, and making the most of his opportunity here at the moment. So we need to start thinking a little bit about the effect of body weight here, because Lizunov 83 kilos 02, that's important. And now Spiro about to take his second attempt.
Yes, now Spiro has got, I believe he's got a personal best of 172.5, which on his best day he actually opened on that weight, and I remember it clearly. And he had 2 failures on 177.5. So I mean, he has been up there, but as you say, he's never really come through.
Yeah, he's in his 13th season now as a weightlifter. So this is the year he's
I think I actually competed against him in an EEC championship in the 75 kilo class, as was many years ago.
Just coming to 15 seconds, has a little look at the clock, composes. 10.
So a failure at 167.5. Never really gained enough height in the first phase, the pull. And this is Vanev. Well, this is interesting. We were saying that the snatch isn't his best lift, and that he is a nervous snatcher since that elbow dislocation. So deciding to take small steps of 2.5 kilos, succeeded with a very comfortable 165, but taking the minimum jump just to stay as close to his other competitors as possible, not taking any risks at all.
Just to emphasize, the 2 Belarusian boys, the world record holder and Anka, still to play their first cards. So Vanev, I think this is very intelligent the way he's going here. He's getting the weight on the board and making sure that he's not going to be millions of miles away. We've seen him before, give himself really silly and impossible totals to achieve in the clean and jerk. But by doing this, I think, he might now perhaps just wait and see a little bit what happens.
Well, I think if he snatches 170, he just sort of keeps himself in there. Because if you look at the Belarus, the youngest of the Belarusians is opening on 170 on the clean and jerk, but he's only got 190 down on the 170 on the snatch, but he's only got 190 down on the clean and jerk. So I'm sure Vanev is fully aware of that.
Well, Vanev's just equalled his competition best. And as Samiadis gets ready to lift, Agata Roble appears to my left with a giant blue teddy bear. Samiadis, third attempt, so only 1 out of 3. But having said that, this is first entry at this weight category, at this level.
Yeah, so that would have been a huge personal record. I mean, his first attempt was 10 over his best. This would have been a 15 kilo improvement, so.
Well, this man hasn't totally convinced you, but having said that, David, he's got a clean sheet at the moment, 2 out of 2. And it'd be very, very good if the Albanian can actually make this 3 out of 3. Just the 2.5 kilo minimum increase for Caparani.
Awesome, Mendoza here. Bravo.
Just having a look, David, this would be a new competition best. Well, he stays on his best ever mark, 165, but it is a better start at least for him. But these two Belarus,
well, that's the usual way. I mean, you start with a weight, make a total, then the second lift, generally speaking, is an equal personal best, and that leaves you 1 lift to kind of take it a bit further. So he equaled his best. It's fine.
So Christoph Spiro coming out. Very good afternoon to you, Marilyn Smith in Heidelberg. Thanks for your email. I gather that you've got a little while longer as an American over in Germany, and you've been enjoying the championships with us, but you're going to be back home for the Olympics. Well, I don't know. Eurosport hasn't quite reached American shores as yet. Maybe one day we will, or maybe NBC will phone us, David, and ask us to come and talk for them. Who knows?
Who knows? So 167.5, 5 below his best ever. Coming back after a minor knee operation and on a long, steady build-up towards the Olympic Games. So 10 seconds to get that bar moving. Well, that was a better attempt than the first one, but unfortunately it's a failure. So he stays on 162.5.
Yeah, he's had, 1 or 2 honours. I mean, he got a silver in the European Championships back in 1996. Same year, he got actually a silver in the Junior Worlds. And those early, or should I say, the middle years in the 90s was where we really started to think, well, after Atlanta, he could be the boy that came through. It just doesn't happen.
Well, that's right. When I saw him do his, I believe it was his lifts in the Olympic Games, he was right in there, and I thought, give him another couple of years and he'll be one of the better lifters in this. But he's never really seemed to come through. And of course, he's got age on his side, but...
Now, Izet Ince, and 170 kilos on the bar, weighed in at only 83, 86. So, again, one of the lighter men.
That's impressive. 3 good lifts. The youngster snatches 170, and that's certainly somebody that we need to watch for the future.
Yeah, that's a very good little series, that, from Izet.
Well, it shows real experience and conviction. Look at it. 3rd attempt, 70 kilos.
Well, Ray Fozel, who's the coach for a good number of these men, will be delighted with that. He's almost, one might say with the others, almost a forgotten young man, because he is only 22. But as I say, out of junior ranks, a little bit more experienced than Samiadis, but that was a good series. And by light body weight at the moment, 170 kilos. Well, in fact, he leads with 170. Now, it could change, because the man who's about to attempt the same weight is actually lighter. So again, this, David, would be for 3 out of 3 as well. Half a minute. Comes from Taganrog in the south of Russia. Did 170 in the national championships earlier this year, February.
So this to equal his best. That's a shame.
Just leant back.
Yeah, it's just technical. I mean, the weight was clearly not too heavy. But that's one of the things about Olympic weightlifting. It isn't just based on being strong enough. You have to put the weight in the right place. You have to believe. And if you watch him, he just taps his head there as if to say, well, perhaps the belief wasn't strong enough.
Now, believe it or not, David, this will be a new competition best for Vanev. 167.5, as I've got his competition best in the snatch phase. But as you have emphasised, you know, quite correctly, his great strength is in the second part. But it's worth noting that neither of the 2 Belarus boys, Anishanka or Ribicoff, have yet started. And Vanev, 83 kilos 44, heavier than Ribicoff, but slightly lighter than Anishanka. It's going to be really fascinating, this.
Well, he's clearly strong enough. It's just a question of whether he's got over the psychological problems of that elbow.
How important could that be, David? Because there is a chance that he could find himself 10 kilos down, behind at least 1 and possibly 2 of the Belarus boys. There's still Mishkovets. Mustn't forget him. He's got 2 more lifts to come, the Russian. 175.
Well, I'm just looking at the score for me, David.
Well, that's
and one of the Belarusians has gone up to 172.5, and the other has gone up to 175.
And the one who's gone to 175 is the younger of the 2, and he's the junior, and he's the world record holder. And just out of interest, his world record, David, is 182.5 kilos. So he could put some distance between himself and Vanev.
Yes, so if he's actually slightly lighter than, no, slightly heavier than Vanev, but yes, if he snatched 182, that would certainly put him in a strong position.
Anishanka now.
Yes, I mean 15 kilos is a lot to make up, even when you're Vanev.
Anishanka's opener, and this is the elder of the 2 Belarus boys. This man who took the world silver medal behind Kazanidze in 2001, the Worlds in Antalya. So immediately makes his mark. Anishanka 172.5, now the leader. So Yuri Meshkovets now to take his second attempt. Now Meshkovets 84 kilos, sorry, 83.86, so lighter than Anishanka. So it is going to be a traditional Vanev type competition where we have to come from behind. And once again, the interesting point will be from how far behind.
Well, the interesting thing is we don't know how much Vanev can do on the clean and jerk because he's never really been pushed to his limit in this class.
Well, when Ribicoff puts up his opening snatch weight to 175, it does indicate that he's feeling good. So Mishkovets left down on 167.5. That's a worrying miss there, because if he doesn't get the next one, David, then he's down in Vanev country, but he's nowhere near as good as Vanev at the clean and jerk. So he definitely needs that 5 kilos.
Well, all these athletes still left in this competition now will know that they've got to get some real distance between them and Vanev if they're going to have any chance of challenging for the overall medal.
Just looking at Vanev, for the clean and jerk, he's posted 210 as his opener, compared to Mishkovets at 200. And Ribicoff good at the snatch, but only 190. So you know there's a 20 kilo difference there. And Anishanka, who's opened well, 202.5. That's 7.5 kilos difference. So that just gives everyone who's with us out there an idea of why we've been emphasising that Vanev is so dangerous, even though he won't win this first half.
Even though he probably won't even get a medal in this first half.
Oh, that won't bother him. For the Bulgarians, it's all about overall championships. I mean, he did snatch 167.5 in Poland last year, David, which is exactly where he is now, but then pulled out 217.5 in the clean and jerk to total up 380 and beat Azanidze, the European champion, by virtue of body weight. So he only just got it. And of course, Azanidze, well, he's not here.
Well, you say that, but he had the hindsight. Everybody else had finished, so he knew what he needed, and you know whether he could have gone any more than 217.5. Well, that's anybody's guess.
Right, now let's hope this Russian can do this. All important to keep in touch here. Two years off the platform. At international level, anyway. And gets left with 167.5. That's difficult. That's difficult. Although, you know, he's got one of the higher entry weights in the clean and jerk. He's going to have to be perfect if he wants to claw his way back into a medal overall. Ironically, he might just, if things go well, he might end up by getting just a clean and jerk. Now, Ribicoff, exciting talent. The junior European champion for the past 2 seasons. Just to give you an idea of the improvement, snatched 167.5 when he took the junior European. That was in 2001, 177.5 last year, and his record 182.5 kilos.
And what's his best on the clean and jerk? Do we have any statistics on that? Because maybe that 190 that he's put in, it seems a bit low for somebody who's opening on 175 snatch.
195. Best on the clean and jerk.
So this man's strength obviously lies here.
This might be very quick. He's certainly very strong. Now, what do you make of that, David?
Well, good technique, but it was, I think it looked pretty tough to me. But he knows he's going to have to go a lot further than this if he's going to challenge Vanev for the overall.
Well, he's got the lead, and the 175, of course, David, now gives him a 7.5 kilo advantage over Vanev. But I think you have the feeling, and so do I, that he needs at least another 5 kilos. And that would then get him very close to 182.5, which is his Snatch world record. I suppose if he could repeat that, then that would give Vanev something to think about, given that he would have to get 195, 200 probably in the clean and jerk. Needs to improve in the clean and jerk as well.
Oh, yeah.
Well, but of course we are assuming that Vanev is in tip-top form. He certainly looked good on the first snatch, on the second one. Anishanka, his teammate, 177.5. So this for the lead to put pressure on his younger teammate, and he hasn't done it. So Anishanka weighed in at 84.47, Ribicoff 84.41, so he's got the body weight advantage over his teammate, and he's now got the psychological advantage over his teammate.
He looks to me, he looks as if he's hurt himself in the warm-up room. You can tell by his face and by the way he's walked off there that something's not quite right, just grabbing the back of his left knee there. So let's hope it's nothing serious.
Just going back to 2001 in Antalya, 177.5 snatch to go with a 207.5 clean and jerk for 385. Well, of course, 385 was the winning weight a year ago in the World Championships when Vanev won. Azanidze, who beat him in 2001, actually totaled up to 390. So Azanidze was in cracking form 2 seasons ago, but just got done by Vanev last year. Pity Azanidze is not here, because he's such a talent, and having been champion in Europe 3 times in a row would have made life even more interesting. Yeah, because if you look at Azanidze, David, you know, 180 capable of the snatch for Azanidze. It would have been really interesting with him in this, but we have what we have.
So the bar stays at 177.5 for the Anishanka of Belarus. Just 2 Belarusian athletes left in this competition now, and 3 snatches to go. Anishanka has 1 on 177.5, and Ribicoff, the world record holder, has 2, and at the moment has 180 posted for his second attempt.
Yeah, he set that 182.5 in Havirov, the Junior Worlds that were hastily reorganised last season when they had to pull out of Nepal because of all the
I don't think this guy's coming out. No, he's not coming out. He's got a problem, and he's got a hamstring pull or something's going on there. So he's going to go to 190. It means his teammate, of course, has already won the gold medal in the snatch, and it's really just up to him now to focus on increasing that gap. Already has an advantage of 7.5 kilos and body weight, actually, over Vanev.
Anishanka may still... Well, is Anishanka going to get a medal? Yes, he is, isn't he? Because he's got 172.5. So he's got a minor consolation.
So I'm just working this out. So if Ribicoff snatches 180, it means that it puts him 12.5 kilos plus body weight. So Vanev would have to clean and jerk 15 kilos.
No, Vanev is actually lighter.
More than him.
Vanev is lighter. Vanev is 83.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 80. Yeah, I'm thinking Vanev's 84.44, no, but he's 83.44, isn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, so just 12.5 kilos more then.
the 12.5 kilos, but if he gets this and then his world record, that will make
15 kilos, which is a big way to come back. But we've seen Vanev do it on so many occasions.
If you then did another little bit of maths, David, which is that you took Ribicoff's best in the clean and jerk, which is 195, and Vanev, whose best is 217,
then it doesn't look like a problem. Unless, of course, this man has worked on his clean and jerk. And
well, if he can improve to 200, then Vanev will really be under the cosh. But he's got to get these two lifts in first, and before even thinking about the world record, he's got to get this one. Vanev will be hoping that maybe he runs into trouble here. He's got 20 seconds. $15.
So not in 2-1. That's interesting.
Yes. Please explain yourself to the jury.
Well, he's got the gold medal already. This is purely to just create the distance. So he's now got 2 minutes to follow himself.
But you say purely, I mean, it's absolutely vital.
Yeah.
The Belarus squad, of course, have had a bit of success already here. Vitaly Debeniev on day one of these European Championships, winning the men's 56 competition by 5 kilos ahead of the veteran Adrian Zhigau for Romania, and that was the day when Naden Rusev, the former Bulgarian, got Cyprus's first ever European medal for his newly adopted country. 12 countries with medals here at the Europeans so far, and a good and healthy spread. Turkey still looking strong to take the overall Nations Cup for the most successful lifting group at the Europeans, based on a point scale that's far too complicated for me to explain, but there are men here who do that for us. It's so much for a win and so much for second and third and so on all the way down the scale, but the deeper you go down, the more you need your accountant. Now, Ribicoff. Well, I'd really like to see him do this, David, because what it's going to do is it's going to make Vanev fight, and we want to see Vanev fight.
I want to see where Vanev's limit lies on the clean and jerk, because I don't think we've seen it yet. And it would be great to see. I mean, the world record stands at 218 kilos. It would be great to see him take that. He's already equal, well, he's already done 217.5, so he's been within half a kilo of it. But again, wasn't pushed to the limit, so...
Yeah, nobody's ever done the world standard in this, the 395 kilos set by the IWF, the International Weightlifting Federation, in 1998, when these current categories were established. Steady.
That's better.
Oh, good. Game on. 12.5 kilos, the advantage. Vanev now knows what he's up against. But tremendously exciting. We're looking at a lad who's only 21 years of age. I mean, he's not had that much international experience, David, and certainly not at senior level. And that's great. You know, he's recovered from an error, and he's come back and taken the gold medal in style, because he's well clear of, you know, everybody else. And Anish Shankar, well, he's got 172.5 and is in silver medal position, but unlikely to take any further part. And the bronze medal to another promising youngster, the 22-year-old Turk, Izet Ince. So again, those big signs of that young generation a year before the Olympics. These are the boys who are really up for it, and the old men, not that they're that old, but you know what I mean, David, they've got to watch out now.
Yes, but I think the Turk and this man in picture now, I think their best results are going to be in the 94 kilo class. maybe in a year or 2 years' time.
I'll tell you what, that's going to frighten the life out of the likes of Dimas and Kargashvilis, because everybody seems to be heading towards the 94 kilo class. I mean, it could be a traffic jam in there.
Yeah, it always used to be, this used to be the most competitive class, but I think in a couple of years' time, the 94 kilo class is going to be the one to avoid.
There it is, Andrei Ribicoff, the world snatch record holder, not reaching his 182.5, but getting 180, leading by 7.5 kilos over teammate Anishanka, and then he's got 10 over Izet Inje, and then Lizunov also on 170, but missing out on the, 167.5, and fourth ahead of Vanev by virtue of body weight differential there.
Yes, so at the halfway stage, Vanev right down in 5th place.
Yeah, position doesn't matter for Vanev, it's weight that matters, and it's 12.5 kilos. www.weightlifting.de on this, the penultimate day of the European Championships here in Loutraki in Greece. When the sun came out, we all went for a swim. Well, I did, but David...